I know this is a proper piss take, but we actually used to have a boombox, like I feel like a right idiot now, wearing like climber fits, tracksuits, walking through like a Blue Water shopping centre, smoking hash joints, listening to like Skibber and Shabba, and people looking at us like, what the fuck's going on there? Obviously it's quite idiotic thinking about it now.
Style has long been an obsession, a compulsion, a religion for the youth of Britain. Every generation provides its own sartorial tribes, who find empowerment and excitement through new looks and different beats. From Doc Martens and two-tone, to jelly shoes and American jazz funk, all the way to supreme and odd future. These disparate scenes come together to tell the story of an alternative Britain. A Britain that has defiantly rejected the culture that it has been offered, to create something of its own.
An absolute history lesson in the birth of hardcore and jungle music. The Northerners had this really clean bleeps and bass sound. Down in London, from the likes of people like Rebel MC, Shut Up and Dance. These people had a rougher and rugged sound. All of this stuff started mixing together. You had Alternate, SL2, Prodigy, to create, ultimately, British rave and British hardcore between 1990 and 1993.
I'm kid dancing forever, me. Well, at least till I remember where I put my car.
As house music headed towards the high street, a new kind of British dance music formed the homegrown bass and breakbeat sounds of hardcore, littered with Jamaican influences.
So while you had happy hardcore born out of the whole rave scene go off in its own world, we then heard these super energised jungle records taking that whole vibe of the reggae and creating a brand new sound. And records like Original Nutter just paved the way and are just seminal tracks. I don't think we could find any more bigger than Original Nutter, could we? My head's sweating in the camera. I think I might have told this story 1,000,001 fucking times before.
People knew me for coming to the shows in something sick all the time. Girls especially used to come to the rave to see what I'm going to be wearing next, basically. And I'd always have something spanking for them, always. And I'll kick myself sometimes because I've got probably a third of what I had. That was a sought-after shirt in the day still. This is probably one of my all-times, again, Moschino wee piece. Name your price, mate, and I still ain't selling. Look, flyers. This is actual Jungle Waves. That was my birthday one. Original classic Versace suit. I remember I took that to the dry cleaners and ended up, I said I was going to burn the whole place down. They ruined that suit. I cut up for weeks about that. It's a one-away suit. Expensive as heck. Telepathy was my favourite rave, as you can see. I've got all the flyers. 96. Oh, take me back. Oh my gosh. Sega Master System. People at Golden Axe. Oh my God! Spankers.
One
bad. Don't piss me off. These are coming out the weekend. Oh my God. Are you serious? Oh my gosh. Bankers.
Anything else, Pushkin?
Loads.
Yes, we now carry them, man.
The style of jungle was colourful, expensive. Italian fashion houses like Versace, Moschino and Iceberg paid very little attention when their designs began popping up on the dance floors at Bagley's and at the Stratford Rex. The style was hugely aspirational, young Brits appropriating and conquering style once again.
95, we was like hardcore jungle wavers. We would be raving like Thursday sometimes, right the way to Sunday. In school, saving up our money to buy garms on the weekend to go raving, basically. This was like the early jungle days. Rocking the blazers, the three pieces, the flat loafers, sunglasses, the belt. Man would be going out and spending like a bag a week, making sure you're looking smart. That's like the big Peter Pan, Casper Jack. Who would even think of making that kind of garb? Moschino, Shakespeare, writing all over it. I remember wearing that, and that all the yardies want to be my best friend. Could not believe it. That absolutely smashed it. Yeah, and it's come right back round now. Again, if I started to wear this now, I'd be the absolute man. Absolutely, I'm the man anyway. I'd be double the man.
So I dug this out of my loft earlier. Got all of these from when I was younger. All that jungle drum and bass tape packs. Just probably swapped like a pack of 20 sovereigns, or like, oh, you owe me a tenner, I'll just have that tape pack. I went to my first rave, snuck in with the older boys, and I was like 15. Basically, I had a fake ID. The whole train journey going up there, I was trying to remember the name, giving it to the bouncer, and he's like, oh, what's your name? And I was like, oh, I forgot. And then he was like, yeah, fuck off, mate.
As the jungle sounds became heavier and darker, the events erred away from the bouncy excitement of ragga and hardcore.
America got hip-hop, Jamaica there got their ragga, we've got jungles just showing life on the streets.
There was little left of the harmonious spirit of early rave. As the organised drug trade began to dominate the scene, violence and robberies became commonplace.
I'd loved it, but it was quite scary. Like, I saw quite a few robberies and stuff. There's loads of rude boys robbing young little white boys for their like money and drugs. It was just a really aggressive scene. I know, like, proper back in the day that it was a bit more lovey-dovey, but the stuff I was into was a bit more bassy and quite dark. And I think that was a lot of the reason why there was so much trouble at the rave.
But not every child of rave was as tough as jungle. Industrial rock had developed a repetitive beat in the 80s, drawing goths onto the dance floor. Euro house sounds had helped develop a cybergoth scene that took the original acid house aesthetic towards the 21st century. Part candy bracelet raver, part cradle of filth, it was a scene that looked a long way into the future. With its luminous fake dreadlocks, furry boots, gas masks and goggles, it was tribal, camp and confrontational, all at the same time.
I just didn't imagine that it would grow like it grew, to be honest. But the one thing I knew really early on is I wanted the shop, a shop, that captured how you felt when you walked into a club. I've always loved music. I always liked to dance, you know, I was a soul girl before any of this dance music came out. I started going to these clubs, but I just couldn't find the clothes that matched this music for me. And there was all these UV backdrops in some of these clubs, and I was like, I want to glow like that. I want to glow. So we started to do neon prints, really off-the-wall kind of trippy images. I came up with Cyberdog because actually I was stoned one night, but it was based on my Chihuahua. We were just saying he looks like an alien. I said, like, he's like a cyberdog, and I swear that's how we come up with the name. There started to be clubs which I visited, like Slimelight, and you had to dress really fetish, really. It was an eye-opener, and I thought I'd seen quite a lot. It probably was the original goths started to kind of get into that scene because they liked the music because it was a bit harder, but obviously they weren't necessarily into S&M, but they were completely black, completely latex, rubber, and this ravey sort of neon stuff wasn't quite right for that scene. We've always had black clothing, but I started to put neon flashes into it because they didn't have that in those clubs. It was all black and dark. I don't want to say that we started that whole thing, but in a way we probably did. So now they call themselves cybergoths, I suppose. They're not just black, they like a bit of colour, they have a bit of neon, they'll have coloured hair. It's more playful. They come from all over Europe, really. Italy, France, Germany. A lot of people move to London if they're a bit alternative, because it maybe is not that easy in their home city. Don't get me wrong, I think they still get people laughing or saying things to them on the street, but they know they've got a place. They've got a place. They've got places they can go. There's other people like them. I think how it's progressed mainly is this addition to colour into it, and obviously there's now a lot of tattooing, piercing. There's always been a kind of cyborg element to the clothes. It's all about modification, and so, you know, they'll wear a mask with their eyes done amazingly. There's a kind of like androgynous, are we human type element that I love, and actually this culture embraces. I think it was very much a sort of hidden, you were black and white, and now they're not. They're out and proud. You know, it's a bit like that.
Keep jumping, you bastards!
Seeing Nirvana 91 was just mind-blowing. Kurt came on in his brown leather jacket with his Sounds t-shirt on and just proceeded to absolutely smash the stage up. That was it. It's just blown our mind.